Hello everyone, Russ of AquariumX here, and as you can see, I am preparing for an unboxing right now. These are millipedes sent from a fan of the channel who wishes to remain anonymous, and that is fine, but I really appreciate it, so thank you for sending these. And we'll get going with this unboxing. Here we go. Alright, what do we got here? Oh, this is cool. Just a second. Let me see what this is. I love it. Check this out. It's a millipede. That is really cool. I've never seen a crocheted millipede, but I already adore it. That is super cool. Check that out. Hello, our squad is called the Worm Brigade. We are millipedes. I love it. So it must mean this group of millipedes has had that name, the Worm Brigade. I like it. All right. Let's get the container out here. It's got ventilation in there. Oh, and I can see some of the millipedes right now. Oh, I need to be more careful when I opened it. But this millipede here, this is an Orthoporus millipede. You can see this one here starting to wiggle around a little bit. I'll set it down here carefully. And looks like they were nicely packed in some sphagnum moss. Here's another one. And that one's kind of reacting to me. You can see a little bit. Let's pull it up. You can see it's moving around, so it looks like it's in good condition as well. Take some of this moss and put it in their future enclosure as I just kind of hunt through here. There's another one, nice and tightly coiled. As you can see, none of these are full size yet. Orthoporus millipedes can get pretty big. These are younger ones, which is great. One thing about Orthoporus millipedes is they don't really breed in captivity much. Maybe once or twice. It's happened a few times maybe, but it's not something you can count on. So this is not a millipede that I have purchased. I've never purchased this species. I just have adopted it sometimes when people have specimens that they can no longer care for. But they are a pretty cool millipede. One of the largest, if not the largest, millipede native to the US in terms of length. Definitely not in terms of thickness. They're a fairly slender millipede, but they can get pretty long. And they are unusual in that they're desert adapted. The whole genus is adapted to desert life. They do seek out microclimates where they can find some moisture under the ground and under other objects and so on. But because they are still subject to desiccation, so they have to regulate their moisture needs by finding humid places even in the desert. And they are also active somewhat seasonally, or after rains and things like that. So let's see the numbers we've got here. It looks like there are 7 total, and I have a few already. So there's going to be a nice big population of Orthoporus millipedes, a nice community. This one's really active here. And you can see, even though it's not nearly full grown, it's already got a decent length on it. So what I'm going to do is put these into their enclosure, but I'd like to video that part too. So the video is not over. We're going to watch them get into their new digs, but I'm going to change the camera around a little bit before I do that. And here is the millipedes enclosure. Like I said, I already have a couple of them in here already, Orthoporus millipedes, and I think it's probably a different species, but since they're not going to be breeding, it's not a problem anyway. They have very similar needs. The substrate is about 6 to 8 inches of organic compost, cocoa fiber, sand, and so on, and of course dried leaves, and there's some wood. This is a nice soft piece of crunchy wood they can nibble on, that's, you know, crumbling, and then there's a cork bark hide here that they're not going to nibble on so much. And I used their shipping material, since it's nice natural moss and leaves. I just put it there and they can have a nice moist area there as well. They do like it a little bit drier and with more ventilation than some of the other millipedes do. So their lid is provided with a lot of screens, so they have good ventilation. And as I'm releasing these, I'd like to take a moment to thank our supporters at Patreon. Our patrons really help our channel do a lot of interesting things. We couldn't do what we do without them, so I always like to give them a shout out. Thanks to all of you who support the channel in any way, whether it's through Patreon or through just watching the channel, if it's through the links at the under the videos, whatever means that you choose, it is all appreciated, especially in these somewhat crazy and uncertain times. So really, really appreciate all that you all do for the channel. Now, if you're interested in millipedes, there are quite a few other species that I keep, and I have a video on ivory millipedes, for example, and whether or not they're the best pet invertebrate. Millipedes do tend to be a really good low maintenance invertebrate to keep. So if you're interested in learning more about how to keep millipedes or how to breed millipedes, or just want to know about some of the more common millipede species you're likely to find in the hobby, you can check out some of my videos at the end of this one, and you can also check out a link to my Patreon page. Thank you for watching. I post videos every Wednesday and Friday, all on aquarium and vivarium pets. Please feel free to share, rate, comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe. And then click the bell icon so you don't miss my next video.